Hey again. I can't say that I expected to take 4 days entirely off while away for the weekend, and missing the launch of Season 3, I'm playing catch-up, and part of that is trying out all the weapons and how they perform in practice after the update itself. But as always with our seasonal launches here, I wanted to take a look at our best weapons, running down my personal favorites so far in the season and what I think it should be giving a try. Let me know your thoughts down below on any weapon or build, how you're feeling about Season 3 as a whole. But if you enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like and make sure to subscribe to stay video with all things Black Ops 6. Maybe a little Warzone again, because I was enjoying my first night back and first time playing since actually probably the integration at Season 1's launch. But of course, also for other FPS content here in the future. We got a few cool things coming up, keeping an eye on this weekend in particular, but I'd love to have it in the community. For now, let's get into it. As always, a little disclaimer when it comes to these top 10s. These are personal favorites and what have been working well for me during my playtime here, getting my bearings with Season 3. So some of these may not situationally suit your playstyle, like my big thing is ARs and rifles. I'm not a huge sniper guy, but maybe you are. But if that's the case, feel free to drop your favorite weapons of the season and their builds. I mean, we're all here for the same reasons, to try and find a weapon that's been fun after the update. That said, I do want to start with our newer additions here to the season. To me, by far, two of the higher performing weapons are the SWAT 556 with the Grau conversion kit and the CR56 AMAX. But I'm going to start with the Grau conversion here for the SWAT, because this, I had my doubts when it came to how they were going to handle this weapon. To me, I didn't quite like any of the special weapon attachments enough to put them in my usual rotation up until this point, but then you also have the fact of, well, you're taking one of my favorite weapons of the OG Warzone experience and putting it as kind of an afterthought, as an attachment, not a full-blown weapon. But I don't think I could be more wrong, because I have been having so much fun with this. Taking this from a weapon that I'd probably never really point out of a lineup to being a top 3 favorite of mine right now. You're a bit more limited in build. Obviously, you need to equip the Grau conversion in the fire mods category, so one attachment there already, but you also lose a lot of the accessibility, which I don't think makes a huge difference in the gameplay functionality of everything, but you lose a barrel slot and all but one magazine option. But truly, I still think you can get this out brilliantly. What I've been running is the compensator, Ranger foregrip, full auto extended mag, and the ergonomic grip, along with that, of course, base of the Grau conversion fire mod. Iron sights are pristine. You don't get any other options for the iron sights like you did if you changed the barrel back in Modern Warfare 2019 or in Warzone, because of course the barrel is locked off. But honestly, you don't need an optic, at least not in Black Ops 6. If you want to take one for Warzone, like a 3x or something, to give you that mid-range option, that makes more sense, but for MP, I don't really think it's necessary. What's also incredible, and why I think it's absolutely at the forefront of my top 10 right now, is the time to kill. You can get a 4-shot TTK down to 246 milliseconds, which is by far better than any rifle in the game currently, and even beats out some point-blank TTKs of SMGs. So you're getting extremely fast killing potential. The next weapon is the CR56 AMAX, another one of the classics from the OG 2020 days for Warzone and Modern Warfare 2019. This one is a ton of fun to play with and is honestly relatively quick to get everything unlocked that's needed and can be beneficial. Though if you want optimal attachments, it will take a bit more leveling. Like the ergonomic grip is one that I'd recommend, but it's not necessarily needed. But that would take all the way up to level 42, which is your max level. But you don't need it in truth, especially for multiplayer. Like, you're gonna find differences in attachment performances, nominal in a lot of cases, but I kit my build out very similar to my Warzone build, where I equip a Kepler Microflex, differing from a long range like 3 times that I'd put on for Warzone, the mono suppressor, long barrel, or reinforced barrel once you get it to level 29, Ranger foregrip, and the extended mag 1. Now in Warzone, I'd flirt around a bit more with the extended mag 2 because that's got great killing potential of the weapon at base, but for the first time, a 60-round magazine. 45 was the max in the OG Warzone, if you remember. So while you'll take a movement hit, you'll gain a lot of power and the ability to have 15 extra rounds. But in MP, I don't think you need that. You can keep the extra mobility, keep the stopping power, and the opportunity to get more kills than just the base 30 rounds that come along with it. So a little bit of best of both worlds. Genuinely love having this back in play. Now, the Kilo, to round out, are sort of weapons that I think would fit the mold here of what I usually would use. This is the first of the this list isn't presented in my explicit 1 to 10 listing moment, because while I think this returning weapon is a lot of fun and does deserve a spot in the top 10, I'd say it's more on the back end of the top 10, mainly because it's just outperformed by the other 2 weapons we've already talked about and a few that will still be upcoming. It's a very usable weapon. It's very easy to pick up. It just lacks that extra, like, sauce, I guess, to make it a top 3 contender or so, or a weapon that, like, you need to use. It's outclassed by a lot by pure stats, but situationally, it still can be a weapon that's very solid to pick up and use. This is a jack of all trades weapon, kind of like the XM4 was at the very beginning of the year, kind of like the AMES I think still is, but if we're ranking on killing potential, it'll fall a bit short. What I recommend is the Compensator, Reinforced Barrel, Ranger Foregrip, Extended Mag 1, and the Ergonomic Grip. This build to me is trying to hit a bit of everything in balance, where you gain recoil control, but also mobility and a bit more ammo. I personally don't mind the irons on this at all, but I can also understand where somebody would want to run an optic. But this is a genuine fun build, which again, I think it just might be outclassed in most situations in a straight up gunfight, but definitely still worth running and playing around with. The AMES is the next weapon up on deck, which since day one, and this is now where we can start to kind of breeze through a lot of our builds, not necessarily talking full attributes of every weapon because we've talked about these before, but the AMES since day one has been one of my favorites, just an all-around easy to use weapon, all reliable. For this, I've been playing around with a couple of different builds, but one I've really been liking is the Kepler Microflex, Reinforced Barrel, Extended Mag 1 or 2, Ergonomic Grip, and the Recoil Springs. This offering just basically a laser pointer of an AMES build, and one that is relatively easy to control to begin with, but I just feel like goes above and beyond, where it's a quick snap, but also, again, it's not going to move on you. The KSV is what I think is a growing choice now in terms of the meta. The Jackal PDW, as we'll touch on, I think is still in the top 10, but it is something that right now gives a bit more in terms of that firepower, I would say, or at least that's what I've experienced. For this, I'd recommend the Compensator, Ranger Foregrip, Extended Mag 1, Commando Grip, and the Balanced Stock. After that, another SMG that's been a lot of fun to play around with, and I kind of feel like has been like under the radar for a lot of top 10 listings, but it's still absolutely one that can get the job done, is the PP919. Great mobility, great handling, solid damage for a pocket laser beam, and it's just fun to use. For this, I'd recommend the Compensator, Reinforced Barrel, Quick Draw Grip, Balanced Stock, and the Recoil Springs. After that, jumping over to a couple of other rifles here in the listing before rounding out with two more SMGs. The Krig-C, I think, is still up there. I think it might be, like, again, kind of like borderline top 10 weapon. It's in the bottom half here of this for sure, just because your top 5, I think, are pretty solidified and solid choicing here. But it's a fun deviation, no less, if you are a rifle player, and is one you can pick up and it's relatively easy to use. For this, I'd recommend the Kepler Microflex, Reinforced Barrel, Vertical Foregrip, Extended Mag 1, and the Commando Grip. Then, the Cypher 91 is one that I feel like is a solid hybrid weapon of sorts, where I can challenge a bit more at range, but I can still absolutely get the job done in close quarters if needed. I didn't play Warzone legitimately at all last season. It wasn't my cup of tea, but having seen the power that it packed in the meta at that point, where it basically dominated, seeing other people play around with it, I do get the appeal there, but also in MP I think it can apply as well. For this, a build that I've just had fun with since it came out is the Compensator, Reinforced Barrel, Extended Mag 1, Commando Grip, or Ergonomic Grip, and the Balanced Stock alongside that, offering a bit more in terms of mobility, but also a bit of handling and a bit of range properties. And the final two weapons we'll talk about are two SMGs that, again, have kind of been here since the very beginning, so it's not too much to talk about that we can just breeze past, but the Jackal PDW, I think, is still up there. Again, it did get a pretty substantial nerf on paper, but I think it's still absolutely something that's worth using. It's just you might notice that if you haven't already. For this, the build that I'd always run is the Reinforced Barrel, Ranger Foregrip, Ergonomic Grip, Balanced Stock, and Recoil Springs, or Overpressured as that fire mod. And then the C9 is just a good damage, solid mobility weapon. It's just a lot of fun to zip around the map with. This, the Compensator, Reinforced Barrel, Ranger Foregrip, either a flip mag or an extended mag. I've actually been using a bit more of the extended mags just because I'm using that also in Warzone, so it's playing a bit more into a more unified experience with that. And then the Commando Grip or Ergonomic Grip. But that is my top 10 weapons here on what I would recommend for Season 3, at least right now. Again, we will probably see some more weapon tuning here in the near future with Season 3 Reloaded, or maybe again, some of these may not necessarily fit the situations that you adhere to within Black Ops 6. Maybe you're more of a sniper, maybe you're more of a marksman rifle player or something like that, that these don't quite fit the mold for you, in which case, feel free to drop your thoughts down below. But for now, let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 6 Season 3 and other FPS coverage. I'd love to have you in the community. For now, thanks so much for watching, though. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.